8:55, 36 wonderful degrees, frost on the grass. Frost. Ugh. But it's sunny, so we can't complain too much, can we? No, we can't. And we shan't. What was I gonna say? Oh, so I'm heading into town. I got to drop some stuff off at the studio. I had a really cool day yesterday. Went out to Fort Shenandoah in Winchester, just outside of Winchester, where the north-south skirmish. Let's try this again. Skirmish. You know what I'm trying to say. They, I guess they have their headquarters there or whatever, and it was an event that Jody from the Battle of Gettysburg podcast put on, and it was awesome. Casey Turbin had a bunch of tickets, and he's like, hey, why don't you and Cindy come down? I got some tickets. And I was like, okay. And I didn't know what it was going to be. He's like, bring your recorder down. Maybe you can get some sound effects for your narratives. And I was like, good idea, because they were firing live rounds. So I was like, all right, I'll go down there and, get some of that. Did not realize that we would be able to fire as well. And so fired some muskets. I got to fire a Henry for the first time in my life, which was awesome. Oh, the Henry rifle is such a beautiful gun. And of course, they're so freaking live round in it. It wasn't a full service load. Jody got to fire that since she put the event together. On Instagram, I have a video of me and a video of Jody firing it. You can see the recoil. I put it in slow motion. You can see the recoil of a full service load. It was so cool to look down range and see the rounds, hit the target and the embankment behind the target, kick up a lot of dirt and everything. So I'm hoping my microphones picked up some good sound effects, but that was great. Got to spend a little time afterwards in Winchester. Had a late lunch with Casey and his wife, and that was also very nice. And we went to a place called Union Jack's. If you've never been to Winchester, make a point to do it. I always suggest to people, if you can squeeze out the time when you come to Gettysburg, when you travel into this region, whether it's South Central Pennsylvania or the Mid-Atlantic states, Gettysburg should really be your hub. And I don't know why now if anybody's watching, they'll start saying this, but I don't know why the powers that be that do the marketing for the town don't present it that way. The same reason the Army here, but let's be real. There's a lot of cool places for you to go to within an hour, 2-hour drive of here. And Winchester, Virginia is one of those places. I always say you got to go to Antietam, you got to go to Harper's Ferry, you got to go to Winchester too. There's other places, but I mean, if you're going to take the jaunt, do that. So if you do like a 4-day weekend and you got 2 full days here, spend a day here and a day traveling to one of those other places. It puts Gettysburg into a different perspective in many ways. How it fits into, say, the war, or if you go to Winchester, the campaign. But also, it shows you just what a difference it is here. The way now, of course, the town. So it's interesting because, let's say Sharpsburg versus Gettysburg. The town of Sharpsburg is pretty pristine as far as modern development goes. There's not any really of it, except for a housing development or two. The town itself, that main road in the town, is pretty much the same way it was during the battle. Now, Gettysburg, you can't say that about. Gettysburg has hoarded itself out to commercial enterprises and to the college and everything, so it has lost it's got a historical character, but it has really lost its historical landscape or cityscape. The Gettysburg battlefield is super duper marked, very well taken care of. Sharpsburg battlefield, pretty well marked, very well taken care of as well. But the view that you get from, let's say if you go to the visitor center and you're on that hill there and you're looking out, the view you have is basically what the soldiers saw. Basically. A couple of modern Morton buildings in the distance or whatever kind of change that. But for the most part, it is what they saw. And so it just, I don't know, for me, it helps to visit these other places and puts Gettysburg in perspective in many different ways. As a modern place and then also historically as well. So if you get a chance, go to these places. Go to Winchester, especially Winchester. Such a cool. So, yes. Good morning, Eric. Michael. Good morning, SP. You have to take your dog for an ultrasound. How come? I got to take Major to get fixed tomorrow. Oh, God. Michael says, I ended up watching the new JFK miniseries over the weekend. It was good, but didn't really go over theories or anything. It's not a must-see before the JFK show. Okay, good. So here's what I recommend you watch before the JFK show. JFK, the Oliver Stone movie, to get a big pile of bullshit. No, sorry, I don't want to influence your thinking as you go in. JFK, the movie. If you can get the director's cut, get the director's cut. It's longer, obviously, but it's more concise story. In fact, I don't remember the theatrical release because I've had the director's cut for decades. So JFK, and then I want you to watch 2 documentaries that are on Amazon Prime. I think you can rent or buy them. One is called Conspiracy Theorists Lie, and the other one is called Truth is Our Only Client. And Truth is Our Only Client has people who were involved in the Warren Commission on there, and they're explaining things. And I think it does a very good job of putting things in perspective. Vincent Bugliosi is also on it. He, and I think it was 1986, did a mock trial of Lee Harvey Oswald. And also, what the hell's the guy's name? Robert Blakely is on it as well. And what was he? I think he was a congressman or something. But he's become an expert on the assassination. So if you watch those 3, and then also if you haven't already, I mean, we've only got a week now, but start reading or listening on Audible to the book Case Closed by Gerald Posner. And it's Posner, I believe. And just you read the stuff about Oswald the man. Not even the assassination itself. Just Oswald the man. Read about him, because I'm going to base my arguments heavily on who Oswald is as a man. And then also when we get to the day of the assassination, a lot of the ballistic stuff and the medical stuff, logistical things, especially to refute the magic bullet theory, which is they try to claim that the claim that one bullet could cause 7 wounds in 2 men is ridiculous, and then they come up with this ridiculous theory, and the premise of the argument hinges on the 2 men sitting in a particular way in order for their mocking magic bullet theory to work. But the irony is, or maybe it's not ironic if you know who conspiracy theorists are, is that they misrepresent the way the men were sitting. And when you put them in the proper positioning and line it up with the 6th floor window, absolutely all those wounds can happen. So we're going to go through that. I'm going to try to spend as much time as I can this week compiling visuals for you that we can play, because it'll be hard to kind of speak about it. But that's what we're going to try to do. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And I think it's funny. Friday, I was texting Jen, and I said, I'm watching JFK to prepare for, our debate. And then she said, no way, so am I. And then she sent me a screenshot of her television. I was a lot further along in the movie than she was, but she was watching that. And then last night I watched Conspiracy Theorists Lie and The Truth Is Our Only Client. Now, Conspiracy Theorists Lie is very good because it shows you why they're lying. Unlike conspiracy theorists, it doesn't just say the government's lying, or in this case, conspiracy theorists lie, and then never tell you why they're lying. This does. It shows you that, this particular thing is a lie because it's a lie of omission. They're omitting this, or they only show you this quote from Johnson saying that he never believed the Warren Commission, which is not what he said, and then they play the rest of it where he says, no, I think it's full of integrity. I forget his exact words, but they cherry pick quotes, they cherry pick facts, and they take things out of context in order to come up with their theories, and that is not honest. So anyway, Monday, November 20th, 7 o'clock. A little departure from Gettysburg, but it is a historical event. It's the 60th anniversary of the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And a lot of people, obviously older than I, say that when that happened, a lot of things in this country changed. And I think if you go back and you look, you can see that they're right. A lot of things did change. So that is that's what we're going to talk about. And we want you guys to call in. We're going to have the call line set up. And we want you to call in because we want you to join the discussion. I'm not going to read comments. I'm going to ignore I might actually turn the comments off because I really want you to call in. Everybody's got an opinion, and this is one of those big things that everybody has an opinion about. And so I really would like it if you called in and joined the discussion, because it is in some ways a debate. I wouldn't call it an argument, but it's a debate. And I think you should call in. So it looks like they tarred over the lines that they painted. I'd wonder why. They also tarred over the parking spaces that were in the middle of a lane. So hopefully they're going to do it again. But I wonder why they've done the double line, because does that mean it's not going to be two-way from this point again? Are they going to make it all one-way? I hope not. Oh, SP. My dog has a fluid-filled sac in his prostate. Might be cancer or an abscess. Oy vey. Does not sound fun. Jennifer says, not Oswald the rabbit that Walt Disney created before Mickey Mouse. You know your Disney history way too much. No, not that Oswald. Lee Harvey. Hey, Lee Harvey. What movie is that from? Lee Harvey. Good morning, Brad. Good morning, BKW. BK Dubs. Burger King World. So I don't have a very long time to do a drive today. I'm not going to stop at Virginia. I have to drop stuff off at the studio and then run over to a place called the Majestic Theater, where I will then sit for a screening of A Gettysburg Christmas. I'm going to take some notes. This is like a test screening to make sure technologically everything works. Or is it technically? Either way. It's cool. I don't know if it's coming out in the video, but to see where the frost has melted because it's getting sunlight, and where it doesn't melt or hasn't melted because it's in shadow still, it's pretty neat. I get fascinated by the simple things. Paul says, nice to get a sneak peek of the movie. Yeah, well, this is my second. I got a sneak peek a few weeks ago, but then Bo asked me to lead the panel after, and I said, well, okay, but I need to watch this movie a whole bunch more because, yeah. Need to know it. It's one thing to like watch it and go, yeah, I've seen it, and it's another thing to watch it and then be able to ask questions or bring up talking points about it, so you could get people to talk more about it. You have to kind of know it a little bit more intimately, if you will. We're going to do a little something different here. We're going to go this way. There's the Sherfy farm. And then we're going to turn down United States Avenue. For the longest time, Cam told me that he used to think it was said Untied States Avenue. And I said, no, it's United, not Untied. Okay, so here we are. Isn't it beautiful? We've got parked car, parked car. Nobody's in it, so we're gonna just keep on going. Somebody went for a little stroll. I don't see anybody, but hopefully they're all right. All right, so we're gonna go past the Trossel farm here. You know what was really cool yesterday was when the rounds that were fired would hit the embankment behind the target, excuse me. The amount of dirt it kicked up, which is one thing Hollywood gets right. I haven't, so I don't know exactly the sound it makes. I would imagine it would just be a thump, not a like they add to the dirt being kicked up, but whatever, we'll find out what it is. But also the difference between when a round shot strikes and a cylindrical shot strikes, the difference in the dirt kicking is, I thought, pronounced. But it was pretty neat. If you ever get a chance to go to Fort Shenandoah for an event, by all means do it. It's really cool. Jennifer says, my best friend and I are hoping to come to Gettysburg Memorial Day weekend. Well, I say to that, Jennifer, why hope when you've got plenty of time to make sure that it happens? I would also book your hotel as soon as possible. We will have a Get Out of the Car tour that weekend, so you can join us for that. We try to do them the third Saturday of every month, except on except for May. And then also, like, sometimes April we have to do it a different one because Easter falls on, you know, that Sunday, and I just, I'm not secure enough to compete with the big JC. You know what I'm saying? So I choose to do a different weekend there. Dogface says, not 100% sure if it's true, but it was the JFK shooting made DC sites set up fields of fire at high-profile sites to mask locations of where snipers could shoot from. Might site had one in 98? What the hell are you talking about? Not 100% sure if it's true, but it was the JFK shooting made DC sites set up fields of fire at high-profile sites to mark locations of where snipers could shoot from. Might site had... can you retransmit for clarification, please? I mean, I think I get what you're saying, but I'm not totally sure because of the overuse of the word sites. Hotel recommendations coming in late March. Well, I guess it depends on how much you want to spend. Well, you know what? They're all expensive now, so it doesn't matter. A lot of people that come in for events say they like 1863. Yeah, the Inn at 1863 or whatever it's called. On it used to be the Holiday Inn right by the Jenny Wade House. They have a frequent flyers program. I think a few other ones do, but I know they do. And so a lot of our listeners that come into town stay there and utilize that. I always stayed at the Quality Inn right down here on Steinway, straight ahead. Actually, you could kind of see the rooftop. I always stayed there. What I like about that place is some of the rooms have 3 double beds. So, like, you know, you could use one as a luggage bed or, you know, whatever. And then right across the street from it is the Best Western, which is relatively new. I don't even think it's a decade old yet. I might be wrong on that one. And that one is nice. My family, when they come down, they stay there. And then that way you can walk to all of the, you know, touristy things down here on Steinway. You've got restaurants galore. Dobbin House right up the road. Farnsworth House a little further than there. O'Rourke's, Tommy's, Fourscore, ABC, Blessing, not the G-Man, what's it called now? Gettysburg Eddie's. Here's ABC on the left. And then here's Blessing coming up on the right, next to the Colton. And then Gettysburg Eddie's is on the left here, after the Horse Soldier. Tommy's is right on the corner, and if you turn left down Washington Street, Fourscore is a block down. Then you, of course, will find what we like to call the Dobbin House. And then after that, you're going to find something called O'Rourke's. And O'Rourke's is on the right, up here, and then it's Gettysburg Creperie. Hunt's Battlefield Fries, we just passed that. Gettysburg Creperie on the left. Cottage Creperie on the left. Very good breakfast there. May's Noodle House on the left there, where the Avenue used to be. The Gettysburg Inn of 1863 or whatever. It's the weird. So you know what? No offense, but people around here have a hard time naming things. They're like full sentences that just don't really roll off the tongue well. But anyway, they're there to the right. You can't see it. And let's see. We'll pass Farnsworth in a bit. Eric makes a good point. If you're willing to drive 30 minutes morning and night, Chambersburg is sometimes half the price if you're staying at a chain hotel. Yeah, that's true. Also, the Eisenhower, it's about 5 miles south of town on the Emmitsburg Road, tends to be a little cheaper. It used to be, at least, I don't know. I used to stay there to avoid paying in-town prices, but that could have changed. Farnsworth House is coming up on the left where those pine trees are. And, yeah. There's the Gettysburg Hotel up on the square, but that's expensive. But, you know, you got to check and see. They might have some rates, the deals going or whatever. Then there's the bed and breakfasts. And there's a ton of those. If you're into bed and breakfasts, then I haven't heard anything bad about any of them. I wouldn't say it here. If I did, I would tell you privately. But I really haven't heard anything bad. So I think to you, I guess, would be my... sorry, I don't know where you lost me. Let's see, what other bed... well, you could stay at the Dobbin House. They've got a B&B. The Farnsworth House as well. You could stay there. Those are some cool rooms there. Never been in the rooms at the Dobbin House, though. So I can't say. However, the Dobbin House does have... the second story of Lydia Leicester's house. After the battle, at some point, she added a second story onto the house, and when she moved, she dismantled it, and she moved into town and used it as part of the house she has in town, and now the Dobbin House owns that house, and it's part of the B&B. Oh, and then Airbnbs. Great point, Paul. Airbnbs, there's a ton of them around here. That might also be a way to go. I don't know, but I don't know if they tend to be, but I always kind of think of them as more expensive than hotels, or at least on par with hotels. Yeah. All right, have fun in Atlanta, Eric. Michael Stump, I've usually stayed in a chain hotel east of town. I found a deal at a different one each trip. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that, Michael. There's a few hotels east of town. There's a Hampton Inn. There's, I think, a Days Inn or a Comfort Inn, or both, actually. Or, I don't know. They're always changing. I think there's a Holiday Inn Express. There are a lot of hotels in town. I can't say which one is better than the others. I haven't stayed in one in 10 years. I've been in them. When I have, friends or family come and visit, I'll stop over and pick them up before we go out or whatever. So I've had a peek. I could say, Best Western is probably the newer of the hotels in town. And it's nice. Oh, it's Federal Point. Used to be an old school, but they converted it to a hotel. It's pretty cool. A friend of mine stayed there once. I got to see inside there. And then the Gettysburg Hotel on the square is nice. It used to be the James Gettys. I think it's called the Union Hotel now or something like that. Brand new. Haven't seen it yet, but might want to check it out. Yeah, but I really can't personally recommend any because I haven't stayed in a hotel in years. So I don't know if, things are what they were last time I stayed here. So basically all I did was not help you by just naming every hotel I could think of. But good luck. All right, guys, I got to get going. I got to run the stuff inside, grab a couple things, and then head on over. So you guys have yourselves a fine Monday. And I have to head down to Frederick this afternoon for a meeting with Preservation Maryland. So maybe I'll do a video on my way down, or maybe on my way back. I'll do it on my way back because I don't know where I'm going, so I need my GPS. You guys have yourselves a good one.